The first thing I noticed when I stepped onto the alien ship was the smell. It wasn't unpleasant, just strange. Like a mix of lavender, ozone, and something metallic. The air was cool, almost too crisp, and the walls shimmered with a faint bioluminescent glow. I adjusted the translator earpiece the Galactic Federation had given me and took a deep breath. Human, the alien guide, a tall insectoid creature with iridescent wings, said in a clicking voice. You are to wait here. The princess will summon you shortly. I nodded, trying to look calm. Inside, my heart was racing. This was it. The moment I'd been training for. The Galactic Federation had chosen me, of all people, to be the first human ambassador to the Zylothian Empire. And now I was about to meet Princess Zynara, the heir to the Zylothian throne. I glanced around the antechamber. The walls were adorned with intricate carvings that seemed to shift and change as I looked at them, like living art. A low hum filled the air, the sound of the ship's engines or maybe some kind of alien music. I wasn't sure. Minutes passed. Then an hour. I shifted my weight from foot to foot, trying to stay patient. Finally, I decided I couldn't wait any longer. I needed to find a restroom. I stepped out of the antechamber and into the corridor. The ship was massive, a labyrinth of twisting hallways and glowing panels. I had no idea where I was going, but I figured if I kept walking I'd find something eventually. That's when I heard it. A soft, melodic voice, singing in a language I didn't understand. The sound was hauntingly beautiful, like a lullaby from the stars themselves. I followed it, drawn by some instinct I couldn't explain. The corridor opened into a large, circular room. In the center was a pool of shimmering liquid, its surface rippling with colors I couldn't name. And there, standing at the edge of the pool, was Princess Zynara. She was breathtaking. Her skin was a deep, iridescent blue, and her hair, if you could call it that, was a cascade of glowing tendrils that floated around her head like a halo. She wore a flowing gown that seemed to be made of light itself, shifting and changing colors with her every movement. And she was singing. I froze, not wanting to interrupt. But then she turned and her eyes, huge, almond-shaped and glowing like twin moons, locked onto mine. I gasped. Who are you? She demanded, her voice sharp and regal. The translator in my ear buzzed as it converted her words into English. I'm sorry, I stammered, taking a step back. I didn't mean to intrude. I was just looking for the restroom. Her expression softened, and she tilted her head, studying me. You are the human ambassador, she said, more a statement than a question. He nodded. Yes. My name is. I know your name, she interrupted, her tone dismissive. But why are you here, in my private chambers? I got lost, I admitted, feeling my face heat up. I didn't mean to disturb you. She regarded me for a long moment, then sighed. Humans, she muttered, shaking her head. So impulsive. So unpredictable. I wasn't sure if that was a compliment or an insult, so I stayed quiet. Come, she said, gesturing for me to approach. Since you are here, you may as well join me. I hesitated, then stepped closer. The air around her was charged, like standing next to a live wire. Up close, I could see the intricate patterns on her skin, like constellations etched in gold. Do you know what this is? She asked, gesturing to the pool. I shook my head. It is the memory pool, she explained. A sacred place where we Zylothians go to reflect on our past and our future. The liquid you see is not water, but a living substance that responds to our thoughts and emotions. I stared at the pool, fascinated. Can I touch it? She hesitated, then nodded. But be careful. It can be overwhelming for those who are not accustomed to it. I knelt at the edge of the pool and dipped my fingers into the liquid. It was warm, almost like a living thing, and as soon as I touched it, images flooded my mind. I saw Earth, but not as it was now. It was a vision of the future, a thriving, united planet free of war and poverty. I saw humans and aliens working together, building a better galaxy. And I saw myself, standing beside Princess Zynara, as equals. I pulled my hand back, gasping. What was that? The memory pool shows you what could be, she said softly. But only if we make the right choices. I looked up at her, my heart pounding. Is that what you want? A future where humans and Zylothians are allies? She met my gaze, her eyes glowing with an intensity that took my breath away. It is what I hope for, she said. But hope is not enough. It will take courage. And trust. I nodded, feeling a surge of determination. Then let's make it happen. For the first time she smiled. It was a small, almost imperceptible thing, but it was there. You are unlike any human I have ever met, she said. I could say the same about you, I replied. We stood there for a moment, the air between us crackling with something I couldn't quite name. Then she turned back to the pool, her expression thoughtful. You should go, she said. Your guide will be looking for you. I nodded reluctantly. Thank you, Princess. For everything. She didn't respond, but as I turned to leave, I heard her voice, soft and almost hesitant. Come back tomorrow, she said. We have much to discuss. I smiled to myself as I walked away. This was just the beginning. Epilogue. Over the next few months, I met with Princess Zynara regularly. We talked about everything. Politics, culture, our hopes and fears for the future. Slowly but surely, we built a bridge between our two species. It wasn't easy. There were setbacks, misunderstandings, and moments of doubt. But through it all, we never gave up. And when the day finally came for the signing of the Human-Zylothian Alliance, I stood beside Princess Zynara, just as I had seen in the memory pool. As we shook hands, sealing the agreement, she leaned in and whispered, Thank you for walking in without warning. I grinned. Thank you for not throwing me out. She laughed, a sound like wind chimes in the stars. And in that moment, I knew we had made the right choice. Together we had changed the galaxy.